Hi, and welcome to High Tea Honey. I'm Shantaé.
Hey y'all. I'm Nikka. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome for the first time.
Yes.
At any rate, just welcome. Thank you so much for being here, spending some time with us.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I feel good. I'm just still kind of sleepy. Because I went to bed early yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, I was like asleep by like 7:45.
Yeah, I was fumbling around in the dark trying not to make too much noise when I came in the room.
I was gone.
Out.
I was gone. But I think it's the adjustment.
What adjustment were you talking about?
When I went to the chiropractor yesterday.
Yeah. Sometimes that physical stuff, it'll help the body relax in ways you didn't know you needed to relax.
Nah, it really did. It really did, y'all. Like,
Babe, your shit was cracking.
Girl, like a fucking firecracker. It was. I was like, God.
Not you was on the drum line.
No, I really was. Like, I walked in, I checked in. That's how you come to the back. I like, all right. The guy, he was like, all right, you come over. He was like, where your problem area at? I was like, it's like my shoulders. I was like, I just got off work. He's like, okay, cool, lay on the table. I was like, all right, I was gonna say this nigga, he wasn't a nigga. This man started just popping my shit. Every time they do my neck, y'all, I just know I'm dead.
No, you are yet living and flowing
I
with
know
life.
I'm alive, and I know that they're not gonna like take my life, but I've never had that experience before, and I'm still getting adjusted to that experience now. So it's like it really takes something out of me, and I think I have control issues, so like not being able to control what they're doing to my body, I have to just kind of surrender that and then like flow with whatever that experience is. It shakes your girl up.
Well, how do you feel today after your surrender?
I feel good. Like my body feel like it has more support. My shoulder is not bothering me, which is great because usually after a long week of work, my arm be on fire.
The block is hot. The block is hot.
No, seriously, my shit be burning up. So I feel good. I think I just feel tired, and it probably just because I slept literally the whole night. Like when I woke up this morning, like it was like 4:30 when I woke up.
Nice.
And then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up when my alarm went off at 6 o'clock. So I pretty much slept the whole entire night. What about you?
I feel good. I feel a little tired, a little sleepy. Like, I feel like I would really benefit from a nap right now. And I'm not that much of a nap taker, but I'm trying to learn.
Put some of my nap juju on you.
I'm trying to learn how to rest and, like, give my body and my mind and my spirit adequate rest. But I feel really good. I woke up this morning. I was in a good mood. I prayed, I stretched, I wrote in my gratitude journal, drank some tea. So, like, I feel good. I do.
I love it. I know. You did wake up in a good mood. You were, like, kissing all on me this morning. I was like, wow. I've never felt this way before.
Oh.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just more like the loving person in the morning. So, it was nice to have the recipe. But I love feeling loved.
Yes, girl, and I want you to feel good, so I'm happy that my good mood could translate over to you.
I was like, ooh. I feel the love.
You are love.
That was nice. Yeah. How was your week? How's the week been for you?
The week has been good. Yesterday I noticed how basically every day this week has felt different in some way to me, but it all felt good to me because I was doing what I needed to do at my own pace. Like yesterday, physically, I was not feeling good. I was in a lot of pain. I was achy. I was very tired. So I just allowed myself to just rest, like, you know, really chill out.
Yeah.
Not exert too much physical energy. Whereas the day before that, like, I exerted a lot of physical energy. So this week, every day has felt different, but it's been good. I feel good. I feel like I'm accomplishing the tasks that I need to accomplish, doing what I need to do. And I'm figuring out how to do it at my own pace in ways that make sense to me. So I feel really proud about that.
Come on, proud.
Okay, proud.
I'm happy you feel proud.
Okay. How's your week?
I was watching that this morning. My week has been good. My week started off really intense. I was in my course. I was in a 72-hour course that, it worked your girl's brain, okay? The girl brain was worked in a way that it just has not been worked in a long time. So just, I guess just using that muscle in a different way. Brain power is, that's a different beast. When you trying to introduce new information, but also information you already know at a later time in your life, and you got to kind of dig back into your archives and move some things out of your way to put new information in there. Oh, child, brain was fried.
Exercised.
Yeah, exercised.
Engaged.
Yeah, all of that. And fried.
You had to throw that back in there.
Because it was. Like, my shit was sizzling, y'all. I was like, golly, woo. But I passed my course and shit. That's all the fuck that matters to me.
Congratulations, darling.
Thank you. I'm very proud about that. I'm excited to see what this new road is gonna open up for you, girl.
The possibilities are endless.
They're endless.
Endless. What you sipping on?
Oh, you segueing into the sip already?
What you sipping on?
All right, so today I am actually just sipping on some chamomile and lavender tea. I'm also coming off of an extreme edge of life, as all women, well, not all women, but biological women go through monthly. And so just, bringing my body back to a more harmonious state. And I know that chamomile and lavender really do help harmonize the body. It helps center the body, specifically the reproductive organs. So just, got my girl next to me. It helped bring me back. What you drinking?
I have some mint tea with honey. Soft, mellow, good for a lot of things. Digestion, mental function, relaxation, headaches. Yeah. Mint is that girl.
Yeah. We gotta grow some more.
We have some upstairs growing. You want to grow another plant?
I think we need a bigger one. That's like our little baby one. I feel like
that's my baby. Oh, okay. I don't want to get too deep into it, but that really is my baby because I have watched that plant just die and come back and die and come back and die and come back so many times. And maybe like the die wasn't a full death, but like a deep rest. I've had that plant for a few years, and as long as I give it what it needs, some love, some sun, cut off all that dead, extra heavy stuff.
Okay, get the backpack off me.
It comes back like so beautiful, so green, so vibrant. I love you, baby. I love you.
We're plant moms also.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to just get some more. Cause that one, she's so sweet, and like she just always grows to a certain size, and she never really kind of get beyond that size. So, a bigger one for us to actually utilize. Because, child, one thing I do love is a good old summer salad, okay?
I thought you was going to say a summer spritzer, because that's all
that
you
too.
said. Oh, yes, babe, I'm going to make this new spritzer. They be good.
I be sipping on me a little spritzer. I ain't sipping on one a day, though. Maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday. Let me see. What else you sipping on musically, bookly, podcastly? Them ain't even words, y'all.
There are words. You know, we're innovators and creators. So. I am reading a Toni Morrison book called The Source of Self-Regard. And it is a collection of essays and speeches and meditations, different things that she has written. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm a huge Toni Morrison fan. I always have been. I always say, if you want to increase your vocabulary, read Toni Morrison, because I'm constantly looking up words and I'm like, dang, I've never seen that before. I have a sense of what it means, but let me, expand my vocabulary. But good stuff. Love Toni Morrison. Music. I will share the song that I have listened to the most this week. Okay. And that is it's Back to the Block by G Perico and Currency. And so the thing about this song is Back to the Block with my Back to the Block with my okay,
I ain't never heard that, so she gotta hit me.
It's like off some Cali stuff, like it make you wanna bounce. Yeah, like okay. So it came up on my suggestions because I listen to a lot of Currency. Shout out to Spitter. Love him. So I was gonna listen to it because of Currency. When it came on, it was a Sade sample. And a good Sade sample at that. And I've been rocking with it ever since. So that's my song of the week, I'll say.
Okay. What am I listening to musically? Well, my brother in love, and my wife's baby brother, he dropped his new single.
Yes. Sir Francois, Chill, streaming on all platforms. Yes. Go fool with it.
It was really good. He did really good. I was like, I'm so used to hearing him like I guess like his cadence in like a more laid back way. So like for him, like the way he was riding the beat this time, like I had to go back and listen to that shit like a couple of times. I was like, nah, he really ride this motherfucker. And I like the way he sounded at. And so I really like that song. So I've been playing that one a lot. And then of course, my boo dropped his album. So I've been playing the fuck out of that one. That album, I've just been playing it just nonstop.
And who's your boo for those who don't know?
For you all who missed last week's. Kendrick. I've been playing his album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I don't know. I feel like I've just been waiting so long for his album. And so now I've been really just listening to each song one by one and like basically like envisioning myself in this open diary with him as he kind of like, what do you say, cathartic? Yeah, basically like this cathartic tale about what he's been experiencing for the last 1,800 and something days that he said he been going through this. I ain't got the number right, but basically 1,800 days of self-reflection and self-discovery and self-destruction to self-rebuilding. It's a very beautiful album. I really like it because I love music in a very deep way. I love music that has substance and grit and honesty and little gems and little gifts and lyricism and stuff like that. And so I feel like he did a really great job. He touched on some very deep topics about himself and kind of what he's been going through, which I appreciate because I love honesty. And this is a true podcast, okay? So we delve in honesty over here. So we support those who believe in honesty. Yeah, that's what music I'm listening to. A book that I'm like diving into right now. It's my astrology book. The book is by Carol Taylor. I got it from, where did I get that book from? Barnes and Nobles. Yeah, I was pressed. And I've been diving into it a lot just because a dear love of mine reached out to me for some support, and I basically gave her like a birth chart reading, and I was so pressed. And so I wanted to kind of understand what I was reading and what I was sharing and conveying to her, so that way she could understand it in a more palatable way. So I've been like really, really diving into my astrology book. I think I'm going to be an astrologist at some point in my life.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I mean, in my world, you already are, because every time I walk around the house, ooh, babe, because your Scorpio is in this house, like, but it's cool. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I got to assist a beautiful person who's a part of my life, just kind of bring a little more understanding to her and herself, and kind of like what she's experiencing and how she's evolving. So that was really dope. I shocked myself, and I was really proud of myself for what I just kind of knew off the dome from just previous studies that I've done for myself, but then also like what I was kind of able to share with her before going back to the book to explore. So I thought that was really cool. And what else? What I'm listening to on my podcast, because I listen to podcasts every day. I love podcasts. They're the best to me. Right now I'm listening to my sister's podcast. It's two English black girls from London. They have a podcast where they just kind of share like personal growth and personal development and all the ways to be better, wellness, overall wellness for our sisters. And even if you ain't a sister, you can listen to, I'm sure. And then I also been listening to Where Do We Begin, which is a podcast by Esther Perel. She is a relationship therapist, and just it's basically like a podcast of like different people coming to her for guidance about a particular issue that is occurring in their relationship, and she kind of helped them unpack that and then give them kind of like resources and pointers. She helped them learn how to take responsibility and be accountable, how to speak directly to their partner instead of speaking about their partner, so that way it's not like, well, you never said that to me. Like, she teaches you how to effectively communicate and be honest and tell the truth without attacking or blaming, because y'all are clearly in a partnership together. So everybody is taking a turn at making this thing what it is. And so I love it. I love listening to it. It's really been eye-opening. And it's been helping me kind of look at some of the ways that I am just personally, and then like how I show up in my relationship, and like how I can be more cognizant of how I show up in my relationship. Not because we won't ever go to therapy in our relationship, because we already did therapy a couple of times in our relationship, and if they were all great experiences, were they not?
They were great experiences. I just thought about one experience in particular, so that's why I'm laughing. But continue.
It's a really good podcast. If y'all are podcast people, or if y'all are interested in just kind of expanding the type of podcast that y'all listen to, I would definitely recommend that one, because we are in relationships all the time and with all kinds of people at different levels. So yeah, it's a really good podcast. Nice. So that's my sip.
That's your sip. All right. Well, we sipped up, honey. You ready to get to the appetizer and the main course and the desserts?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So today we are talking about being shackled to a dream.
Shackled to a dream.
Shackled to a dream.
Cue to Mary.
Take the shackles off my feet so I could dance.
Hey.
I just want to be free. That's what I want.
That's what I want to do.
I want to be free.
I want to be free. Yeah, you want to be free. Hello, it's 1:11.
Okay, look. Intuition.
Okay.
Trust it.
New beginnings. Mastery. Yeah, that's what the words mean. Yeah, so shackled to a dream. What does that sound like to you?
To me, shackled to a dream means at some point you envision something for yourself or for your life, or maybe even for the people around you. And you have held so tightly to that dream that you are now rigid. And there's no flexibility and there's no breath. It's almost like the dream is being suffocated because it doesn't have enough air to breathe.
Yeah, I like that. That's what it's giving. And that's definitely what it sounds like. A suffocation, just this deep hold that it got on you that you really can't even catch no air to even try to breathe life to something different or for anything to be different. Yeah.
Because think about it, like as a plant, you plant that seed, you nurture it. In this example, the dream is the seed. You nurture it with your energy, your attention, but it still needs air to breathe. It needs space to grow and to become. And like sometimes your plants don't make it. Unfortunately, like sometimes you just gotta let it go and try again.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with a dream sometimes.
Yeah. And when I hear dream, I think about so many facets of dreams. I think about career. Ooh, that one. That one have you locked up. Akon. And it won't let you out. I also think about like relationships. And when I say relationships, I think about platonic ones. I think about romantic ones. I think about parental ones. Children ones. I also think about dreams, like personal dreams too, that you have for your life.
Let me just say something that came to my mind right quick too. So a nightmare is a dream too, right? And a lot of times we be focused on that nightmare or that scary thing that we don't want. And I feel like you could be shackled to that too.
That is me. Are you dropping the mic?
I just had to let it breathe. Let it breathe.
Okay, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Gotta let it try to breathe. Yeah, so a little, I don't know, what would you call this? A little introduction that my beautiful boo-boo baby, my baby boo, wrote was, the dream can change. You can accomplish the dream and move on. You don't have to force yourself to be stuck in it. Be flexible. And maybe you only saw some of the dream. Yeah, I agree with all of that statement or that little paragraph, that little introduction into being shackled to a dream. Because, yeah, I have not been flexible at times.
Self-awareness is key, and I applaud you for that.
I have not been. I have not. So, babe, go ahead and give us the definition of what shackle means.
Yes. So, shackle, a literal or figurative restraint that keeps you in place or prevents you from doing what you want. Wow. I see, one of the things that I love about languages, not languages as, but language. One of the things that I like about language is, you know, there are words that when we hear them, we know what they mean. Like shackle. I think like most people could have an idea of what a shackle is or what it means to be shackled in some way. But when you actually look up the definition, like, I'm going to read it again just because, I don't know, I like stuff like this. A literal or figurative restraint that keeps you in place or prevents you from doing what you want. Like, it's very simple, but it's very clear. And I think it's really helpful, like, to break that down to help people understand where we're going with this conversation.
Yeah. That when I read the definition, when I was looking up the definition of shackle, I thought about the horse. The horse that was tied to a plastic chair. He could have ran off. But he believed that he was confined by this chair, stuck to a dream that I guess whoever his owner was put in his mind about what he's supposed to do and who he's supposed to be and what service he is supposed to provide. That he didn't even see that it's a plastic chair that he's actually shackled to. Because if it was me, I would have ran. But they broke him enough, or they trained him enough, or they instilled in him enough, or they made him believe just enough that he could not get away and run wild and free like stallions do, that he stayed shackled to a plastic ass chair.
Son, I'm finna cry like this conversation. Ooh, woo!
A plastic chair, y'all.
It is so good. It feels so good in here, y'all. I hope y'all could feel what's happening right now.
That was the first thing I thought of when I read it, because it showed me the literal and the figurative restraint.
Yeah, because the first part of it is, it says it keeps you in place, which by itself, without the rest of the definition, don't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it don't necessarily have to be that you are in like actual physical prison, but maybe you are in like a prison adjacent situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that just keeps you in one place without the ability to change your mind, expand, grow, try something new,
Mm-hmm.
be open to a different experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the horse could have had a new life. I felt bad that the horse believed that he had to stand there.
And the horse can still have a new life, you know, like if new information is presented to this horse, if new opportunity, you know, like if somebody cut the leash off the horse, like it could run away. So there's still possibility.
Yeah, and when you even think about that, for like, we gonna bring it back on the human side, y'all. But that's the thing that came into my mind. For humans, human beings who we truly believe we are the smartest animals on this planet, which I have yet to see. Okay, let me stop laughing. Okay. We believe that whatever conditioning that has happened to us or whatever was told to us, we hold that thing to be so true and that we can't steer off that path, right? The horse. I keep taking it back to the horse, but like...
I mean, stay off that path. And I think that can really show up in a lot of different ways. So it could be... I'm going to just jump into it. So I think one of the best examples for me is a child. Like a 5-year-old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And at 5 years old, this child is like, when I grow up, I want to be a race car driver. When I grow up, I want to be a Barbie doll. When I grow up, I want to be a marshmallow. And like most loving people, older people, adults around this child would just be like, okay, baby, and like keep it moving. But nobody really expects this child to even remember what they said, you know, like, because the attention span of a child is like, it's so fast, it's flexible, it's open to the possibilities. And I think that at a certain point, we become inflexible sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we set our sights on this one thing and then that's it. Now, let me break that down a little bit more too, because sometimes that is helpful and effective.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to hone in on something that you want, you desire, you aspire to, and you work to it. Nothing wrong with that. I think what we're talking about here is where you force yourself.
The dream died.
Okay. You force yourself to engage with something that is dead. We're talking about when a dream no longer serves you. We're talking about when you are doing something to make somebody else happy at your own detriment.
Yeah, or when you're doing something that feel like a chore. It becomes just this very robotic thing, like, oh, let me get up and go to work because I've been doing this for the last 10 years. Like, it feels robotic. It feels like another chore you gotta do.
Yeah. So what do we do about that? Like,
well, I have been inflexible at one point or another, where I've been shackled to a dream, y'all. I just knew I was gonna be a background dancer for Missy Elliott, and still am.
You still can be. What's up, Missy? Let my baby dance for you, please, Missy. She could really dance though, and I'm not just saying that off some.
I gotta get my conditioning up. Cause it girl.
But that's the dream, and you could work for that. You could.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah. So like, just being like just so dead set on it, and then just you putting everything into it, and it's still not playing out the way you want to. But then the next thing you know, you kind of just find yourself either one, just kind of being in this robotic space, or two, you find yourself kind of like fantasizing something new, which means that the thing that you are so committed to and the thing you're working so hard for is no longer working for you. And it's okay, but you, number one, you probably feel guilty because you don't put so much time and so much effort, and you have convinced yourself mentally like this is the thing that I got to do in order for me to be whatever language you use, whether that be successful, a good parent, happy, a stellar citizen, whatever the language is you use to convince yourself that you gotta stick to this long life dream that you've had. But also, like, I just lost my train of thought. But like also like what you have told other people or what you have shown other people. Like when you first thought of that dream, right? Like it was so big and you wanted to share, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna be this, or I'm gonna be a business owner and my business is gonna turn into a Fortune 500 company, whatever you believe your dream to be. And so you done invested the last 7 years of your life into this thing, and it's reached its peaks and its valleys over and over and over again, but it's not getting to where you want to be. And you knowing that you need to give up on it is one thing, but also you are hearing the language or the conversation that you had with other people about, oh, in 10 years my business is going to be blah 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 blah. So now you're holding yourself not only to whatever pressures you put under it, but to whatever imaginary pressures you believe the other people are putting on you that they may not even have communicated to you. But because you shared it with them, you put in how they feel, what they perceive about what you want to do at a high place too. So that kind of keep you kind of stuck there too. And they actually have a term for that.
Okay, what is the term?
The term is called goal shielding, where basically you don't allow yourself to move away from something that's not working for you no more. That it literally starts to put you at risk in a lot of ways. The biggest way is probably financially. But then the second way is probably health wise, mental wise. And then if you got a family, it puts your family at risk too.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people aim to be fulfilled, and staying in something that doesn't serve you seems pretty unfulfilling, but we do it all the time.
And we do it in so many areas of our life, like not just career. Like, oh child, when I be seeing people holding on to relationships, and I know because I'm one of them. Hey, accountability.
Okay.
I am being accountable. Well, hold on till death do us part. That's learned behavior, though.
Yeah, it is. I think this is why it's so important to cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself. Because doing so, I think, makes it easier sometimes to like really check in with yourself and assess where you are honestly. Because things change. At 5, like I said earlier, people wanted to be like maybe a race car driver. Do we every year, like, I mean, of course, parents do cultivate their children's interests. Families cultivate children's interests, but we also give them space to change their mind and not make that big of a deal about it. So on Monday, you want to be a race car driver. On Friday, you want to bake cakes. On Saturday, you want to go play in the rain. Like, we give that space and that liberty. And I think when you cultivate a deep, loving relationship with yourself, it gives you that same liberty.
Yeah.
To trust that you know what to do, to trust that you know what you need, and to like loosen up some. Because there's a lot in this world to be experienced. Yeah. There's a lot to be created. There's a lot to be seen, a lot to do or not do. And I think sometimes we shackle ourselves to these dreams of like, well, my whole life I always figured, or I always thought, or I always predicted or saw that I would get this really important job, that I would marry this really important person, that I would have this type of house or drive this type of car or have this number of kids by the time I'm X, Y, and Z age. And sometimes that can be more restrictive than it is helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Because you're preaching to me.
So I think we are always changing. We are always evolving. And I think we need to give ourselves more credit for that. I'm learning how to give myself more credit for that. And, to really always have an accurate and up-to-date awareness about where I am, what I need, what I want to do. And that doesn't mean that I don't have any goals or that I don't work towards anything or that I don't have dreams. I just don't let my dreams imprison me.
Yeah. And I think that something else that we do is just kind of like human beings, like another way we kind of shackle ourselves is believing that we only have one dream.
Or one purpose. Yeah. Or we can only have one passion or one thing we're interested in. No. That's false. Please, like, if you believe that, figure out why. Like, question yourself and figure out why you believe that, and then determine if you want to continue to believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on beliefs. Let go of the things that no longer serve you.
Hey,
let them go. But yeah, so yeah, like people kind of believe themselves to kind of be, almost like these one-dimensional people who only can do one thing. And sometimes we base that on what we're good at when we kind of first start doing stuff like, oh, he's good at math. And then it's like, oh, I should be like a mathematician. And okay, that don't mean that you can't also be a fucking culinary chef either. Like, or that they don't mean that you can't be like a illustrator. Like, what are they called? Illustrators? What are they called? Artists.
The artist.
The artists. Like, but the other things can be true about you too. But I think that society has kind of conditioned us to choose one lane and stay in that lane, especially when it comes to like higher education, when people go to college and they pick a major, focus, fully in on that major, and bitch don't stray. And it's like, once you get in the major after about a year, some shit, it takes some people less time to realize they don't want to do it. Some people be there a week and they're like, this ain't for me, but based off conditioning, a lot of that conditioning starts at home. A lot of us have seen our parents, not mine, but seen some parents, work a job 25 years plus, just walking that one path, So, I would say that's an indirect conditioning that you have received from people before you to tell you that you only can walk one path. So then people start to see themselves kind of in this one-dimensional way, and then they figure out what they're good at, and then they figure out whatever field that is, and then they just ride that bad boy all the way to the end, and it ends up not fulfilling them. A lot of them end up with health problems. They do. Because you ain't give yourself the space to do the other things that may have arose in you, because you felt like your calling or your duty or your purpose or your gift or your, I don't know, it was on you to be that and only that.
Yeah, because sometimes things change and sometimes things evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you do have an interest, let's go back to the person that you were talking about that was really good at math. You use math for so many things.
I use math at my job.
You could do anything. You could be a chemist. You could be a math teacher. You could be an engineer. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be a salesperson.
Accountant.
It's so many things, and like, I think as long as we are open to that, then we allow ourselves the possibility of the experiences that will really be meaningful to us.
Yeah.
And I think going back to something else you just said too, about like kind of like the one lane and like you pick your thing and you stick with it. I can see where maybe at one point in this lifetime that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I was alive during that time, but maybe that made sense at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, this is a different time. Like, we have access to information, access to people, access to different parts of the world that people living during that time where maybe that made sense. Like, they didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So also too, I think, that's where kind of like right sizing the dream and making sure that it makes sense for you in this moment, in this time, can be really helpful too.
Yeah. Make room, y'all. That's really all I can say is make room for something else about who you are to be true.
Yeah. I mean, and when you make that room, it's not like you're going to miss out on anything, because when you make the room to do that, one, it might be revealed to you, or you might discover that, yeah, I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. Mm-hmm. And it's this thing, and it's the same thing I said it was when I was 6 years old.
Right.
Great. You knew you wanted to be a doctor, and now you're a doctor and you love it. Awesome. Like, for real. And there are some people who have changed their minds a lot of times, and at a certain point decided that it wasn't okay for them to change their minds anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think one of the greatest examples of that is a conversation that I had with a friend earlier this week about, someone close to them, how they are, number one, they are serious about becoming a dentist. like serious, like heartfelt, like this is what I'm supposed to do. But also, it has stressed them in such a way that they can't even get over one of the things that will even allow them to be a dentist, which is the final. The final has choked them up so bad because they so dead set on the dream and they so committed to the dream that they can't even do the thing that will allow them to do it. But it's also started to compromise them health-wise to where their hair falling out. Literally.
The pressure of that.
Yeah. And then I think also all of these, what you said in the beginning about it just makes you really rigid, right? So this person only want to go to a specific school, only wants to be announced from a specific school in a certain type of way, but also like the debt that person has acquired. But then also if you when it comes from like a generational space, the first one, you know, to graduate college at this level, you know, so like just all of these unspoken pressures, but also spoken pressures that, you know, the person has put on them, you know, that has started to compromise them in such a way that they can't let it go. They are shackled and so dead set on the dream because of all of these other things that they have connected to it. And that's that the finances that they have had to pay into it, the debt that they've acquired, the dream of them believing that that's their calling, their health that they're now compromising, the generational thing of this, I'm the first one in my family to do it, so I gotta be the one. You know, just so many things that has made this person so rigid, you know, about it. And I'm like, and they ain't even got to the hard side, which is actually practicing, being that's the hard work. School is hard and the testing is hard to, you know, to get, you know, the degree and, you know, whatever accolade on the education side that you want to be able to get, but then also to take all of that, what you learn and put it into practice, that's the real stress. And will you even have the tenacity once you get to the other side to do it? Because you shackled yourself in such a way that you won't allow anything else to be true. You won't allow the opportunity for you to be able to even go to a different school outside of the school that you got your heart dead set on.
It's giving burned out.
And you know what? In the article that I read, let me tell y'all the article. We'll have it in the description. It's called How to Let Go of a Lifelong Dream. And that was an article I found online by this online magazine called psych.co. And basically they were saying that burnout is the actual number one thing that should let you know, is this thing still going the way that it's supposed to go, or am I holding on too long? Am I gold shielding around here?
I'm really happy that you mentioned that because honestly, like your life and your body in particular, but really your life and the things that happen, it's always communicating with you. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of times like we focus on a goal, something we want to do, something we want to have, and then when stuff isn't quite going right, we get frustrated. Man, these people tripping, like, you know, and we look at everything outside of us, but really like that's maybe your life communicating to you. So learn to pay attention to that. Mm-hmm. Burnout, it's telling you something. Mm-hmm. It's telling you something.
And I think like we also like, especially in America, I don't really know about other countries that well because I've never lived in any other countries, but my desire is to live in other countries at some point in my life. Japan, here we come. Where basically like we pride ourselves on having grit, like, and just like just driving that motherfucker all the way to the end. Like, you gonna stop digging the gold right when you 2 inches from it, but you don't know because you can't see it. So like just having that grit, right? Like we really pride people on that. But that sometimes you could stroke out before you even hit gold. Because sometimes you might need to refocus somewhere else, and then it might bring you back to the original thing you were doing in the first place. Or that might not be the place where you actually are meant to strike gold. Because that could be a possibility too.
Yeah. I think this life is for us to be enjoyed. Wait, I didn't say that right. This life is for us to enjoy.
Life is to be enjoyed.
Life is to be enjoyed.
I got your back.
Thank you, baby. I really do believe that. And I feel like there is a way to enjoy the things that we do. Like, there's a way to enjoy the hard work that it takes to reach a goal. There's a way to enjoy what some might call setbacks, but are really communications, letting you know, like, you need to pay attention to something at a deeper level. Because I have been so in touch with my deepness lately. And like, I always knew I was a deep person. The people that know me that are listening to this, they're gonna be like, hell yeah, girl, we've been through that. But like, I feel like I've been experiencing that on an even deeper level. And like, I just see like how layered life can be. And there's something beneficial in all of it.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. And I can see how that belief is like really allowing me to enjoy my life a lot more. Like the other day, I knocked over like something. It was like a whole shelf, right? And everything fell. I laughed because the shit was funny to me. But I could see where if that was me maybe 6 months ago, I would have been so aggravated or so like, now I gotta clean this shit up. And it was fine. And it was a moment for me to laugh with myself. And I put everything up. I wiped the shelf off. So now the shelf is refreshed. I'm refreshed. You know, it's just about learning to look at what's around you, because life is always speaking to you.
Always speaking to
you. And that's you. That's not like no devil, no demon, no outside force. That's you. We'll come back to that another time. So learn to listen to yourself and learn to check in with yourself to make sure that you are not aligning yourself or continuing to align yourself with things that don't serve you.
That have you shackled.
Because it's okay for dreams to change. You are allowed to change your mind. You're not frivolous. There's nothing wrong with you for doing that. Really, I think that shows the ultimate sign of like self-love and self-compassion. Like when you can allow yourself to have what you need when you need it, because that's what you need right then and there.
Right.
Even though you may have at one point communicated to yourself or to somebody else that you were going to do something different or do it in a different way. Like to be able to take an honest assessment of yourself and be like, you know what? I'm not really with this right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to go another way.
I'm going to go another, and maybe it might come back around later. That's fine too. But just right now, it's a no. It's an honest no for me.
Yeah, and be okay with the honest no, and grieve that, right? Like, because that's also a thing too. Like all of these things that you have committed to, these relationships, these career goals, these well, those are the two best ones that I got right now. Because they're the ones that seem real high that I pay the closest attention to. You know, like, grieve that. So that way even you could clear up space even there. Because if you leave that thing that you know ain't working no more, that has held you captive for so long. One thing I ain't going to be in no captivity. That has held you captive for so long, you carry that resentment over with you. The new things that are to come to you, they don't have enough room to really spread out and offer its fullness to you in a new way. Because you're taking up damn space. with the resentment that you had to let some shit go. And the only reason why I can say that because I am speaking from life experience.
It sounds like it, girl. You're real passionate about that.
Your girl is speaking from life experiences. When you have to let something go and you have to do away with it because it's no longer serving you, people really be out here feeling some type of way, and they cannot grieve it. They cannot settle the loss.
I mean, it's probably because change works best when it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, it's hard for people to kind of transcend that change because they haven't fully convinced themselves that they were allowed to make that change.
Fixed.
So you're still shackled, even though like they took the handcuffs off of you. You still sitting next to that plastic chair when you can't run away just because that's what you've always done. And to a certain extent, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the issue comes when you stay there too long. Because, like, say you get knocked down or you trip and fall. Sometimes you do need to sit there for a second so you can get up. And then, you have more clarity, you have more focus, more tenacity, more whatever. But the shackle is not only physical either. It's mental and it's spiritual and it's emotional. So I do think that that's why the grieving piece of it is important. Because it's okay to feel sad that things change. It's okay
to work out,
to be upset about going in a different direction, because at one point you really felt like and you really thought like this was gonna be my way. And it's okay to grieve that, to be upset about it, to be unsure, to be a little hesitant. But the important thing is that you give yourself enough grace to follow your internal compass, because obviously something else is calling out to you or you are being pulled in a different direction.
Right.
So like letting that long held path go is really only one step.
Yeah.
So you let that go, and sometimes you got to work yourself up before you could even let that go. And then you move to the new path. Or sometimes it happens like while you still on this other path, you like start dabbling in other things. It could look like anything.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that you always remain honest with yourself about what you feel.
Yeah.
And have some grace and compassion.
Yeah, and let the grief, do its thing, because it really does free up the space for, the new opportunity, to reveal itself to you. And then you don't know how long that you'll stay in that one before it's time for a new one. It's giving the spirit of newness.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so we're going to give y'all some little key pointers or some good takeaways, to help y'all if y'all are in a place in y'all life where y'all are being shackled by a dream and that spirit is telling you, go, sis, you got the key, just go ahead and unlock yourself from this relationship, this job, this mental commitment to this thing that is not playing out in a way that is serving you. So I'll retake the first one, and the first one is adaptability and flexibility are just as important as grit in seeing it all the way through. Adapting, being flexible is very important. It's like, be a frog. Frogs are adaptable. They adapt to their environment. I got a little frog in my car, y'all. That's why I have it in my car. It's like a little green frog that I have in my car. And it's my reminder, because I can be very fixed on what I want and what I see. And it's relentless to go get it. And the little frog being like on my little thingy is to remind me to be adaptable and be flexible. And basically leave room for life to happen. So yeah. Be flexible, be adaptable. Still have your grit. Don't completely throw it away. Have your grit, but the flexibility and the adaptability is just as honorable and just as virtuous. How you say it? Virtuous. Y'all, these braces be in my way sometimes. It's just as virtuous as having the grit and being committed and dedicated. Mm-hmm. They both are. They all have significance.
Nice. All right, y'all. The next one is there are other ways to channel or redirect your passion. So, just to circle back quickly to something we said earlier in the show, about maybe you only saw some of the dream. I think that's kind of going to the point that you just made about the adaptability and the flexibility. Like, not to say that what you saw was wrong, but maybe there are more ways for you to look at that or to engage with that and be with that. Channeling and redirecting your passion, it's okay to move and to be flexible and to try something new.
And allow new downloads to come in.
Yeah, because new dreams await.
They await. And that's our last one. New dreams await. Everything you had done up until that point was good. No matter what your idea of good was, it played out exactly the way it did, and you should be proud of that. Mm-hmm. You really should, because it shows that you have the ability to commit and dig in and dedicate yourself to something, but then also back to the adaptability piece and back to the flexibility piece. When you recognize, that I could feel it in my heart. It don't make my heart throb the same way. It don't give me that same fire the same way. Like I feel the fire kind of dwindling. Being able to open yourself up for a new dream to happen, and then allowing that new dream to come in and see what awaits you on that other side and what can be offered up to you on the other side. Because life is full and life is rich, but it's only as rich as your mind and what your mind and your belief systems and your thought processes about what you believe you're supposed to do will allow it to be. Because guess what? I'm going to have me a pot set. Charlie.
And I'm going to be using them for my gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, soy-free cooking videos.
We unshackled ourselves from some dreams to allow ourselves to live out this dream of being podcasters.
And here we are. And it's just getting started. And it's so good.
And believe it or not, one of the beliefs that I was shackled to is that nobody don't want to hear my story. Nobody don't want to hear what I got to say. And I'm not good at speaking. I mean, clearly I've stumbled over some words, but your girl is here, okay? I'm opening myself up.
Amen.
For new things to flow.
Yeah, I think the dream that I unshackled myself from to be here in this space is I don't have enough time. Mm-hmm. Because all the things that I did outside of myself, like working and, just some other things were always more important, always the most important. Mm-hmm. So I don't have time to do the things that I want to do. And something similar along the lines of people don't want to hear my story. I'm not good at speaking. Mm-hmm. I don't talk in front of people. Yeah. Blah, 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 all of that stuff.
It had us shackled, y'all. Y'all never would have seen us if we would have kept those things held true.
But they weren't true. And, we were able to get grounded enough and get clear enough about what's true for us. And the truth for me is the possibilities are endless. Mm. Everything is working together for my good. I get to enjoy my life. Yeah. That's the truth for me.
And I get to enjoy my life wherever my life take me, and I allow my life to take me there. I am not locked down by one thing or another. I am free and open for all things.
I always have everything I need. I don't have to worry about missing out on anything because it's not possible.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, love, for talking today about being shackled to a dream.
Shackled to a dream. Y'all, please unchain yourself. Be Django Unchained, okay?
Unchain my heart. Go listen to that Ray Charles.
Unchain my heart. Unchain my heart.
Learning. So have grace with yourself as you do that, because you can't unshackle yourself from a dream or anything else that has you in bondage.
Yes. So until next time, y'all, this is High Tea Honey signing out. We love y'all.